The station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
How low can you be of a human being to target other people at a funeral?
A mass shooting in Northeast D.C. at the funeral of a man killed by gun violence. Police have given us his name and the description of a vehicle believed to be involved. We're live with what else we've learned tonight.
And 5 people free after being held hostage inside an Arlington bank. Just in tonight, police identified that would-be robber. We talked to someone whose wife and daughter were inside with the man who said he was armed, as police named the suspect blamed for the chaos.
Also, if you have an old TV lying around, you may want to hold on to it. It could still be worth something. We are helping you stretch your dollar tonight, telling you what to do with that old tech.
And weather-wise, we are going to continue to watch temperatures back in the 80s tomorrow afternoon with wall-to-wall sunshine. We'll check out that forecast coming up.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us for DC News Now at 10 o'clock on DCW 50. I'm Chris Flanagan.
And I'm Tasmin Mahfouz. In breaking news tonight, just into DC News Now, Arlington police have identified the man they say tried to rob a bank in Clarendon this afternoon. They say he is 30-year-old Oscar Alarena, of Durham, North Carolina. He's now facing multiple charges.
Again, this happened at the Wells Fargo Bank in the Clarendon neighborhood. DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg has been on scene since this unfolded late this afternoon and talked to a man whose wife and daughter were inside during that scare. Daniel joins us live tonight. And Daniel, thankfully, nobody was injured.
Chris and Tasmin, this ended peacefully. What police tell us, even though that suspect, Mr. Alaranja, said that he had a weapon and demanded money, he actually didn't get away with any money, and police didn't find a gun on scene. It did take some time, but he was taken into custody peacefully. Around 3 p.m., police say 30-year-old Oscar Gonzalez Alarenja entered this Wells Fargo bank on Washington Boulevard demanding money. Jean-Paul Mwende's wife and 3-year-old daughter were inside as he was picking up his kids from school.
When I go to school, she called me 10 times. And when I pick a phone, she said, no, criminal is here, call police. And it's me, I call police for Arlington County. As police arrived, dozens of people were at nearby restaurants.
We were having a nice, smooth lunch shift. Beautiful weather, patio was busy, and suddenly people started running inside. There was a bunch of cops' cars coming in. Police say Alarenja barricaded inside the bank with 4 adults and 1 child, Mwende's wife and daughter included.
She sent me video, the manager foot down. You don't talk, the people fight him, give him money, give him money.
It took about an hour to resolve the situation.
Oh my God, they're running in.
Police say Alarenja was given commands to come out and he complied. Then customers and employees were escorted out. No weapon was found.
Bank robberies themselves are not very commonplace. Neither are incidents in which we have individuals inside the bank. Our officers worked diligently to safely resolve this incident.
Mwende is thankful no one was injured.
I am happy to see my family because he told us. Yeah. And I push it to Arlington County. It's nice because he took the guy. I saw him.
Now, Alarenja has been charged with bank robbery and abduction. He is being held without bond in the Arlington County Detention Facility. Live in Arlington County, Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.
All right, more late developments and another story we've been tracking all day long. This time it's an identification and also a vehicle of interest in a deadly broad daylight mass shooting within walking distance of a police officer in Northeast Washington.
Yeah, so take a look at this. Police shared these images with us about an hour ago of a white Lexus IS 350. It may have damage to the bottom of the front passenger door. This all unfolded outside Stewart Funeral Home on Benning Road shortly after a funeral for another homicide victim. Police believe the victims were targeted.
Our Mario Carbone joins us live from police headquarters tonight, where detectives have just identified the victim. And Marielle, you just spoke to a local leader who is very frustrated.
Yeah, he says all of this is unacceptable, especially because of that location outside a funeral. Now, we do know tonight that 2 women and 2 men were shot outside that funeral, and 29-year-old Terrell Caldwell was identified as the person who was killed. Now, at this point, we don't know exactly the full extent of how the shooting was connected to the person whose funeral it was, but police do say that he was the victim of a homicide in Southeast D.C. last month, where he was shot to death.
I think the best way to describe what has occurred is that there's been another traumatic incident.
And this time, the location, a funeral.
For people to be in a place to mourn and or celebrate than to not be able to do so in a safe manner is just, again, unacceptable.
Police say the shots rang out following a funeral for a young man killed in D.C. last month. Stewart Funeral Home listed an 11 a.m. service for 24-year-old Stephon Carroll. Police shared Carroll's photo in this homicide victim flyer last month, offering a reward for any information that led to an arrest in his March 24th murder.
It's unfortunate that someone would be so brazen to do such an act, let alone at a funeral. I mean, how low can you be of a human being to target other people at a funeral?
Police Chief Robert CONTEE says there were police stationed outside the funeral, a request by the family. But that didn't stop the shooter or shooters.
My goal is to make sure that we're doing everything that we can to track the person or persons responsible down.
Well, right now, because of the pandemic and economic issues, it's kind of the norm now.
James Ward lives nearby the funeral home and says what happened is unsettling.
And it's hard for us to wrap our heads around it to accept it as the norm, I should say.
ANC Commissioner Tyrell Holcomb says it's on the community to make sure it's not the norm.
I think the reality is that we're at a place where we as a community have to grapple with the fact that if we don't come together and work together and live in harmony and find a way to put our differences aside, that we're going to perish as fools.
And so you saw the vehicle, the suspect vehicle in this case. Police are asking if you know anything about the vehicle, the driver, or possible shooter or shooters in this case to contact police. And there still is that $25,000 reward available for any information that leads to an arrest in Carroll's homicide. Tasmin and Chris, talking to the ANC commissioner there, he does say that he's not familiar with Carroll himself, but that a lot of people in the community did know him and that he's most well known for his music. Reporting live from police headquarters, I'm Marielle Carbone, DC News Now.
Well, Metropolitan Police also asking for your help finding the drivers of some ATVs in the district. Take a look here on your screen. Police say these suspects were captured on camera riding the vehicles through a public space, which is illegal. This happened on April 8th on Pennsylvania Avenue. Anyone with information should call DC Police.
And in Montgomery County, Maryland, police are looking for this man. They say he stole from Cubano's restaurant just before 11 p.m. back on March 4th. Investigators say he stole cash from an employee's backpack. Anyone who might know who he is should give Crime Solvers a call.
And all new tonight, the FAA says engine problems forced a plane to make an emergency landing. Happened in a field outside Charlestown, West Virginia. Take a look at this new video showing that plane near the intersection of Cabletown and Charlestown roads. Flight data shows the small Cessna had only been in the air for about 15 minutes before the problem started. 4 people were on board. No injuries reported. We're checking with the sheriff's office for more information.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Hopefully your Tuesday was fantastic with all this sunshine that we are dealing with across the DMV. Hopefully you're not dealing with it, that you are loving it, because it's going to continue here as we go into the next few hours. Our temperatures are going to rise Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Really, the apex day is Thursday afternoon. If you had the day off Thursday, it is a go. Wall-to-wall sunshine, limited cloud coverage with daytime highs upper 80s. Right now, we are watching sustained winds about 10 to 15 miles per hour, and that's going to continue to get pretty hefty tomorrow afternoon as well, and push us over the edge with some warmer air. Mostly cloudy right now at the 10 o'clock hour, 63 degrees, winds coming out of the southwest, 8 miles per hour. But man, we have a lot of dry air that is currently in place, and that's going to continue to surge in here, along with warmer weather. Relative humidity is going down, and unfortunately, that is causing wildfire concerns. We'll break down that forecast coming up.
Vanessa, thank you. New details tonight out of Prince William County. Budget season is coming to an end, and the fight over funding firefighters is going down to the final days. Northern Virginia Bureau reporter Max Marcilla joins us live outside the Prince William County Government Center. And Max, this is an issue that you've been covering for months now, and there's still a disconnect between the board and the firefighters union.
There is, yeah. So the county is saying the firefighters will get a raise. Right now, between the market adjustment and the step increase that all county employees will get, it's about 10%. But the firefighters union has been saying for a while it needs more to ensure that the recent problems of people leaving the agency, leaving them short-staffed in what they say is a crisis, well, it needs to be more. So that's kind of the backdrop of the budget battle as it enters its final 2 weeks. Tonight, a budget public hearing was held here in Prince William County, and a handful of the members of the firefighters union, they spoke about the problem they say they see on a day-to-day basis. They talked about why the county raise that's being proposed is maybe a little bit less than they think it should be. That's because they say it focuses on a compensation study that was flawed, focusing on salaries and not hourly wages because of the firefighters' overtime, the amount of overtime they work. But tonight, one board member said in the next week or two, before the budget will be approved on April 25th, they want the county to take a look at finding some sort of middle ground. So you're about to hear from that supervisor as well as the union's president about what he hopes happen in the final 2 weeks.
I think it is time that we have a real discussion about what those numbers look like and what we can do for those employees, not because they asked, but actually because we need to be competitive.
It's their job to be stewards of that money, but I know that if that number doesn't get closer to 20, it's not going to do what's anticipated, and that's recruit and retain quality firefighters and paramedics here in Prince William County.
So next week we could find out if they reach a middle ground, what that middle ground is. We also heard tonight at least some interest from the board in seeing whether or not they could give extra money to firefighters before the new fiscal year. That would start in July. Now they're saying that because this crisis, this staffing crisis that the firefighters union has described, well, they say that is happening now and actions need to be taken before July 1st to ensure it doesn't get worse. Reporting live in Prince William County, Max Marcilla, DC News Now.
All new tonight, calls to build smarter by limiting townhome construction in Prince George's County. Our reporter Yamari Sase spoke to leaders about their plan and what it could mean.
Now, it's hard to miss the amount of new townhomes being built across Prince George's County, and leaders are concerned that there's just too many in certain areas. Now, county council members are looking to put a temporary pause on townhome developments. Bill sponsors say the townhome boom in parts of the county is becoming a problem.
You put denser development in areas that are not fit for the character of denser development, you have an infrastructure problem.
Michael Bridges lives near Church Road in Bowie. Building more housing in small areas is something he's been complaining about for years.
Very small sort of country road, and the traffic is already close to what we would consider close to maximum capacity. And we just don't see how, we're not going to be affected when you dump, 500 more homes there.
The bill introduced on Tuesday that could pause townhome developments for 2 years aims to encourage developers to build in the transit areas of the county, which can keep up with the capacity.
And to bring true economic development to the county, we'll be building in transit-oriented areas because that's where you're going to bring the jobs. That's where the office jobs are going to come. That's where the employers want to be.
Now, the bill will not affect the development of single-family homes. But what about affordable housing?
There are different projects of affordable housing that's going on throughout Prince George's County, frankly, and a lot of it is in our transit-oriented areas, which is what we want. Because those are the areas that we're building and developing.
Legay says the goal is to build smarter.
So what we want residents to know is that wherever you go, you're going to have your neighborhood school, you're going to have the proper roads, you're going to have the proper, you're going to have commercial development, even walkable communities near you.
Now, the bill will go to the Planning, Housing, and Economic Development Committee for review, and then there will be a hearing scheduled in the next few weeks. For now, reporting in Prince George's County, I'm Yamari Sase, DC News Now.